Hello.
You look great.
Well, thank you.
You look fantastic.
Huh.
You look like you're getting ready for a whole different kind of role, because you always look different for every role you do.
Well, this is the first time I've actually sported a mustache out in public. So I'm preparing for another role. I'm trying to grow the mustache. It's not really working, but I think
like
they
it.
can kind of grow some patches in it. I can't grow a full mustache or a beard. So even though I'm 50 years old, I still can't grow a mustache or a beard. But I'm working on it.
You're very youthful. That's why. Your body is like refusing to grow. Isn't it?
Well, that's not true. But you know, I always do whatever it takes to prepare for a role. So
I know.
I'm trying it with a mustache. And it's oddly enough, every one of my siblings thinks about how much it reminds them of my dad. So I'm keeping it for a while. And if it doesn't work for the movie, I'll just keep it. It's just, you know, I miss my dad.
You look good. That's very sweet. You look good in any kind of way. I will say that. But I don't know how, because you just turned 50, how you're ever going to portray that on camera, because you do not look like you're 50 years old.
I feel 50.
Do you?
This year, certainly, yes. This year has been a rough one, and it's been a rough one for everybody. But, you know, it's just, you start to get up, you start to notice. Yeah, you get aches and pains in places that you didn't know existed.
Yeah, but let's show him doing some reverse crunches hanging from a bar that most 50-year-olds don't do. They just don't do that.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing a harness, and that's green screen.
That's not true.
Yeah.
And what time of day was that?
Well, the sun was shining, so it wasn't that early. If you notice, the sun was coming through in the room. I was up in Idaho. I was probably 7 in the morning. Because,
like in your documentary, which I watched and I loved, you get up at like 2:30 in the morning on your days off to train. I mean, that is discipline. Like I said, you're the hardest working guy.
Well, I pride myself on being disciplined, but I do not get up that early every single day. It's just if that's what it entails for the preparation of the movie, and I've got a bunch of other stuff to get done before I get the kids up to school, and the only one thing that they're really annoyed about is if they get up at 6:30 in the morning and Dad's already like making salmon or roast chicken or something. They think it's my breakfast, but they don't know that I've been up for 5 hours.
Right. Well, they do know that,
Yeah.
but
But I don't always get up that early.
Yeah. But still, discipline.
But I will, if I have to, absolutely. I'm so blessed and so fortunate to have the job that I have, that whatever I have to do, I'm more than willing to do, with a smile.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
and I know that about you.
Yeah.
You had COVID during Christmas, and that must have been difficult, because your family just went off and left you.
Oh my gosh. We always go on holiday at Christmas, and I'm down in the basement a couple days before Christmas. I don't get to open any gifts with anybody or anything. And next thing you know, they're still going on holiday. And I'm like, and I hear the car getting ready to go, the doors are shutting, and I'm like, are you not gonna come to the stairs and say goodbye? But they did come to the stairs, and they stayed not 6 feet apart, like 36 feet apart. And I was able to go down a few days later when I finally got 2 negative tests, and I was able to see them, and they were like, what are you doing here? Are you sure he's okay? I still had a little bit of a you know, cough and stuff like that, so they didn't really want me there.
They didn't want you on vacation with
They
them?
didn't want, and you know, I understand, because the last holiday we had, my wife got COVID the first day we arrived, and then my youngest son and my youngest daughter all got it, and they were quarantined. So, and we had to leave to go to New York, so it was a bit of a payback, a little karma.
I see, because you did that to them.
Yeah.
And your oldest daughter now, is she 18?
She's 18, yeah.
And she's got a boyfriend.
Yes.
That's got to be intimidating for him to be you.
I think he's more scared of my daughter than he is of me.
Really?
I pray for him more than I pray for her in that relationship.
She's tough?
But yes, but she's also, they're perfect for each other, and he couldn't be any sweeter. I realized early on that, you know what, it's inevitable, and as long as it's somebody who's nice and treats her well, and somebody that I can trust and respect, we have a great relationship. He's fantastic.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
hope she can keep him.
Yeah. Well, they've been together a year.
1 year, yeah.
Yeah.
And he went on the holiday.
Yeah.
So now he's like the man of the house. I'm stuck. And I'm like, wait a second here. This guy slid right in, and I'm out. But he actually came back after, we all flew back after the holiday, and he stayed for like another week. We worked out, we did lots of stuff together. You know, he's a very good influence on me.
He works out with you?
He worked out with me a couple times.
That's bold to work out with you. That's really...
No, I didn't, and it wasn't a test, you know. All my friends were like, oh yeah, good idea, keep him close. He's such a sweet guy. And you know, he just wanted to work out, and he has lots of interests that we have in common. So I'm just trying to help him where I can.
And your youngest daughter, I know a little about this because Portia is into horses. Your youngest daughter, how old is she?
Grace, she's 12.
12, and she's competing. She's going to the nationals.
Yes, she just qualified for the nationals. I think it was
Wow.
Sunday, yesterday in San Francisco. So now she's going to Pennsylvania, and it was funny because everybody on she got the individual invitation to go to nationals. The team didn't make it. All the parents were super congratulatory for her, but they were also super happy that they didn't have to go all the way across the country to another horse show, which is a lot. But
Yes, it is a lot.
But I was like, wait a second here. I'm learning a lot because I'm seeing how they're happy for her, but they're even more happy that they don't have to go themselves.
Right. Do you get nervous for her?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we took her to Wellington, and she got on a Grand Prix horse. And I was like, this is very different from your pony. She was like, Dad, all horses are the same. I said, no, I'm a car dealer. I know the difference between, 200 horsepower and 700 horsepower. And this horse is as fast as it gets.
Yeah.
And she just held on to the horse, and the horse is jumping 7-8 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this day here. Yeah.
Wow.
This was a little bit terrifying for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, they tried to sell me the horse, which I said, I don't think she's ready to go from a pony to that horse. But hopefully, if she continues to do it, I think she'll earn her way into any kind of horse that she wants.
That's great. All right, we have to take a break. More with Mark after this. That's Mark Wahlberg. That's a movie. It's called Uncharted.
Yeah.
What is this about?
Uncharted, it's actually based on a video game from Sony PlayStation. It's the biggest selling video game in the history of video games. But it's so cinematic. This is not, you don't have to have been a fan of the video game to see this movie. If you've loved Indiana Jones, Romancing the Stone, any kind of big action adventure movie, this is it. This is the most cinematic video game ever created. I've been attached to making this movie for well over a decade. So much so that I was originally cast in the Nathan Drake part, which Tom Holland is playing, and now I'm playing Sully, which is the old guy with the mustache. I mean, when I got the phone call that they were finally making it again, I was so excited. I was like, finally, we've been working on this thing forever. And I was like, all right, so who's the other guy? Because before it was De Niro, and then we were going to get maybe Jack Nicholson. And they were like, Tom Holland. I goes, what? What do you mean Tom Holland? They goes, well, yeah, he's going to play Nathan Drake. You're going to play Sully if you want to. And I was like, what? And I said, you know what? Actually, that's cool because Sully's a great part. He's kind of like you think he's the bad guy, but you can't really trust him. He's a master thief, but he also gets to bark a lot of orders while the kid has to drown and fly from helicopters and fall out of planes and all that stuff.
So easier role for you to play.
It was
Fantastic.
easier and more fun. Yeah.
You have so many different sides to you. I mean, you really do. You have I just watched. If you haven't seen Joe Bell yet, it is so good. I didn't know the story. It's on Amazon Prime, right? I think.
Yes.
But Joe Bell, your performance in that, to me, is the best performance I've ever seen, and it's so different than any of your action. It's a true story. And then I heard there's another movie coming out that you had to gain a bunch of weight for,
Yeah.
that your performance is even better in that. What's the one coming out that you gained weight for?
That's a movie called Father Stu. True story about a guy who was a boxer who tried to become an actor and then fell in love with a girl, wanted to be with this girl so bad that she convinced him to be baptized. He got baptized. He got into a terrible accident. He ends up becoming a priest. And then all of these things that happen to him along the way. He comes down with a rare muscular degenerative disease called IBM. They can't ordain him as a priest, but as his physicality starts to deteriorate, his spirituality soars. And again, this is a movie that really is for everybody. And when you're dealing with the pandemic and uncertainty and loss and sickness and just not knowing what's going to happen next, this really gives people the answer. So it's not a movie just for Catholic people. It's all inclusive to everybody. And like Joe Bell, these are the stories that I really gravitate towards. These are the stories that I think are going to help people, connect people, bring people together, and remind people that love is the only thing that's going to bring us together.
It's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all that there is. Yeah. Only thing that matters in life is love, and then also tequila.
Well, that's going to make you love me even more.
Exactly. That's it. It helps the love. And this is your tequila.
I invested in this business. It is not my tequila.
Okay.
This tequila was created by Aaron Marquez and Abraham Answer, who are partners in tequila, but very successful in their own right. They went to the same college. They became really good friends. They are authentic tequila makers. I recognized how good they are and how talented they are, and I put a big check behind them to promote them and create awareness about their business. But it's real, authentic Mexican tequila created
right.
by very successful, entrepreneurs.
All right.